listeners. Welcome to another episode of Romance Unraveled. I am one of your co-hosts, Jacob Bozen.
I am your other co-host, Chandler King, and today we're having a really close friend of mine named Dallas. And how about Dallas, you introduce yourself and tell us a little about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Dallas and I work with Chandler I'm a CNA at the same facility Chandler works at. So yeah, that's really all I do with my life though. Kind of boring.
Nothing fun at all?
mm, Not really. I work 7 days a week at 3 different jobs. So
What? Are you serious?
yeah,
Wow, I
She's a
could not do that.
workaholic.
it's a lot.
So I'm really interesting to hear your story, what you have to tell us. So how about you get started?
Okay, so this was like when I was 18. I just out of high school. And I met my first like serious boyfriend, and we got an apartment together, which was, oh my gosh, the cutest thing ever at the time. I thought I was going to marry this man, but little did I know.
And then you're gay?
Yeah, that I'm gay, married to a
Oh,
female now, so
oh,
much
that's a
happier.
big change.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's kind of crazy. So he used to work days and I worked swings. So he would get up and go to work. And by the time he'd get off work, I'd be at work. And when I'd get home, he would be asleep. So in our living room, we had his stupid little deer head that he had shot and he was so proud of and had to hang it so everyone could see it. And I had these cute little pictures of us around the deer head, kind of. And every night when I'd get home, I would look at those pictures. And it was like a ritual kind of thing. I don't know. Um, so one night I came home from work and all of my pictures of us were down. And I was like, what? What is going on right now? So I walked back to our room and I was like, why are my pictures down? And he was like, what? Huh? I was like, no, why are my pictures down? Like, they're never down. And he was like, oh, I was looking at the letters that you had bought because I had bought in a big D and a B and the and symbol to hang up.
Uh-huh.
And
So
I
what
was
is
like,
what
oh,
should we call him? What is his name?
we can just say his name. His name is Bo.
Okay. Bo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a great name, right? It's so
Yeah.
manly.
So manly.
Um, but yeah, so I walked out into the living room because I had the letters put away in like our furnace closet, and like a weekend or two before, his friends were over there and they were really drunk and broke two of our kitchen chairs. And so I had set the chairs up like strategically to make them look like they weren't broken so our house didn't look trashy.
Yeah.
And so I walk out there and I'm like, no, he did not get into this closet to look at these letters because he would not have known how to put the chairs back up. So I walked back in there and I was like, no, you didn't do that. So try again. Who was at our house? And he was like, nobody. What are you talking about? I was just thinking about it. And I was like, so you had to take down the pictures to get a visual? Like, I'm not following. And he was like, yeah, I was just thinking about it. And I was like, okay, no. Who was at my house? Like, who did you have over here? He was like, nobody, you're crazy. I'm not doing this. Nobody was over here.
What
So
made
it
you think that he had somebody over at your house? Just because like he took the
Because
photos off the wall?
yeah, because girl, like it just felt weird too. And like, why would you take pictures down? Like, it just didn't make sense. And
Right.
he was kind of like, when I first met him, he kind of gave off player vibes anyways. So I trusted him, but like not all the way at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
He would like always put his phone face down and like be super shady with his phone. So I don't know. I just kind of like always had an inkling, I guess, about him being shady.
so the pictures that were taken down, were these only pictures that were by his deer head, or were there pictures of you guys spread throughout the place that you lived?
Um, Really, like those ones were like the biggest ones because they were like not just like tiny pictures like you get printed out normally. Like they were like a bigger size photo because we had gotten them done professionally. And so they were mainly like in the living room because that's pretty much the only place we had guests when they came over was like in our living room, and it was kind of an open layout, so our kitchen like led into the living room. Like only an island separated the two. So
Okay.
we would only like usually stay in the living room or in the kitchen. And so yeah, we had some in our room, but like I said, nobody really ever went back there. So
Were those gone as well?
no, the pictures from the bedroom weren't down.
Okay.
Unless he was just smart enough to put those ones back up. I couldn't tell you. Um so I was like, "Hey, either way, like I'm going to find out if you had somebody at my house. Like I'm going to find out." And we were on the same phone plan at the time, and I was like, "I'm going to figure this out." So I literally got on the phone plan and I went through every number that he talked to. And mind you, I had taken his phone at this time so I could like go through his contacts and see like what added up. And there were like quite a few different numbers that I didn't know that he had called that night. And mind you, I got off at 12, and so after all of this arguing and me finally getting on, it was like 1:30, maybe 2 o'clock in the morning. So I called all the numbers. One girl answered, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I was gonna go over there. Well, not really, but I was just kind of telling him what he wanted to hear. But I have a boyfriend myself, so I would never go over there. I
What
would have
is
never
wrong
done
with
it."
Then,
people? Are people insane?
I know. I was
like,
like,
then
"Girl."
why were you even talking to him in the first place if you weren't really going to go over there?
Exactly. I was just like, "Why would you do that? You need to go talk to your boyfriend and tell him what you just did, because if I find out who your boyfriend is, I'll tell him for you."
Yeah. So when you called her, what did you say to her? Was it just like,
I was just like, have you been talking to Bo tonight? Like if so, like what was said? Because I want to know. I'm pretty sure that he was trying to get you over to my house. If not, are you the one that came to my house?" And then she said that.
okay,
And he was like, he said that he had a girlfriend, but that I was okay with him hanging out with girls
Oh
at the
my
house when I was
gosh.
gone. Yeah. So I was already mad, and I went into the bedroom and I woke him up again, and I was like, "This girl just told me this. Like, I know there's more girls, like, but nobody's answering right now, obviously, because it's in the middle of the night." And so I was just like, "Whatever, we're going to bed. And tomorrow when I wake, like when you leave for work, I will be awake and I will be watching the phone records."
what did he say
What
to
do you
this?
He was like, "You're so crazy. I'm not going to do anything. Like, I don't even know why you're tripping so hard. Nobody was over here. You're just crazy." And I was like, "Okay, I'll be crazy then. You're the one that made me like this." And he was like, "No, I didn't even do anything. I've never given you a reason to not trust me. I don't know why you can't just take my word for it." And I was like, "Okay. Why
How
are my
many
pictures
phone
down?" And
calls?
oh, I left out a part too, because so another thing that used to happen whenever we would have people come over, my makeup that was always sitting on the bathroom counter would be put under the sink, just because like we only had one bathroom and we didn't want it to like be junky for people to come over.
Hmm.
And so I'd gone into the bathroom and my makeup was under the sink. And so I was like, "Why is my makeup under the sink? Because it's never under the sink unless people come over." And he was like, "Well, I was cleaning the bathroom up and I wanted to put it away because I just hate seeing it." And I was like, "Okay, but that's weird because you've never had a problem unless people come over." And he was like, "I told you I was just cleaning up the bathroom." And I was like, "Okay, so you could clean up my makeup on the counter, but not the dirty towels on the floor?" Mm, weird. That makes so much sense.
It's so funny how these people really never think these things through.
Yeah, I was just like, "You can't be this stupid. You really can't." But oh my gosh, he was a different breed. Um, so back to where I was at. So I told him I was going to call all these numbers. And finally, I got a hold of this girl the next day. And I was like, "Hey, were you at my apartment last night?" And she was like, "I was at Bo's apartment last night." I was like, I live there too." And she was like, "Oh yeah, I knew you guys were together, but he said that you guys just like like you just came over and spent some time with him sometimes, like when you could." And I was like, nope, my name's on the lease as well, actually.
So
So,
did he have like multiple phone call records in his phone?
yes, because
Oh
he
my
used to get on
gosh.
Meet Me. I don't know if you guys know what Meet Me is, but
Yeah, I do. I'm surprised it even exists anymore. Like it
it,
seemed a really rundown version of all the dating apps combined, in my
yeah,
opinion.
I don't know if it's still a thing now, but it definitely was when I was 18, and I'm 28 now, so 10
Okay.
years ago.
Yeah, yeah, that's about the time that I
Yeah,
knew that it existed as well.
yeah. So whatever. So I'm talking to this girl, and I was just like, that's my house too. Like, how could you not know a female lives there? Because even though the pictures were down, like, I don't know, it kind of like just takes like a woman's touch to make it like cute and decorated, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh, for
But like,
sure.
there was like
I,
dried flowers on the wall that he had given me, like just random little things that a man would never put out in his house if it was just him, you
Yeah.
know? So she was like, "Yeah, he came and picked me up and we hung out and we just watched movies and we kind of cuddled on the couch." And I was like, "You cuddled on the couch?" Like, but you knew he had a girlfriend. So I'm confused here. And she was just like, "He said everything would be fine and you'd be okay with it, that you were really cool and relaxed." And I was like, "Oh, gotcha." I'm not.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was like, "Yeah, he took me home about 10:30 because or no, 11:30 because he knew you'd be getting off and coming home soon." And I was like, "Wow."
so he was picking up these girls.
Yeah, he literally picked her up and took her home while I was at work.
I would
Oh
So
have
my,
came unglued if
I
I had
did.
a boyfriend who was picking up these random boys or whatever and just picking them up and taking them to my house and taking them back home. I would have broke probably every freaking window in the house.
I was crazy after that, like insane. Once I got done talking to her, I called him and I freaked out on him. And from that day on, like I was just so like he had literally made me go crazy. I was insane. It's kind of embarrassing to say, but he would like get off work and then he'd be like, "Okay, now I need to go help my grandpa," or "My friend needs help with this." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I have your location so I can see where you're at." And like I would just be crazy. I'd be like, "Okay, I need a time and I need to know exactly who you're going to be with and like everything." And so he had gone to his grandpa's one day and he was like, "I'm only going to be 2 hours long, no more, no less, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "Okay, sounds good." Like 2.5 hours, 3 hours go by and he's still not home and he's not answering his phone. And I was like, "What is going on?" Like, I'm going crazy right now. And the location he was at, I didn't recognize it. So I was just like, "Oh my gosh, he's cheating again. Like he's got some girl with him and I'm going to freak out." So I kept blowing up his phone and finally like 4 hours goes by and he calls me back and he's like, "Why are you freaking out? Why are you blowing up my phone? I told you I was going to be with my grandpa." I was like, "Okay, well, you also told me that you were going to be home at this time and now it's this time. So no, I'm not okay with that. You need to get home now."
How long were you guys dating for when you before you moved into the apartment?
Maybe like close to a year because we were only together for like almost 2 years.
Oh, so you guys were together for a long time.
Yeah, and I
So
was
like
like
thinking about
horrible.
that now, do you feel like he was seeing other girls before you guys moved in together?
Oh, I'm sure he was. I'm
Mhm.
like positive he was.
Because it makes sense thinking about it, like all going through his phone and seeing like all of the text message, the phone calls or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And then
I
before he went to his, I guess, quote unquote, grandpa's house, what was the conversation that you and him had after, I guess, you had discovered that this girl had been over at your house?
I just told him pretty much that I was going to keep an eye on like the phone records and like any number that I didn't recognize, because also that night I had taken every number from his phone that I knew who it was. I sound so crazy right now. This is so bad. But I literally took every number from his phone and put it in my phone so I could like go back and check when he was not at home for me to go through his phone.
Oh wow. So
Yeah.
did he ever, after you figured out and you could prove it to him, did he ever like confess that he was
No,
doing
he
that?
still said no, that he didn't
Wow.
have anybody. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever.
So what drove you to, I guess, stay in the relationship and try to work it out?
Cause kind of like I said, like I thought he was like the love of my life and I was gonna marry him. And it was like the first like real relationship I had ever been in. And I thought it was forever. And I'm one of those girls that used to think that I can fix the man and I can change him and make him love me. And
I feel like we all kind of like feel that way if like anybody was
yeah,
in that kind of situation.
yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. And the funny thing also about it is I went to school with this girl and like when we broke up, obviously everybody, not everybody, but like a lot of younger girls go to Facebook and they like post how sad they are and all of this stupid stuff. And I had done that, and some girl reached out to me that I was kind of friends with in school, kind of not. Like we were more acquaintances than friends. And she was like, "Girl, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that that happened to you. You don't deserve that. Like he's dirty for doing you like that and all this stuff." And now they're married and have children.
Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah. So that's great.
That is crazy. So let's go back to the grandpa
Yeah, okay.
scene.
Um, yeah, so he came home and he just this was actually the day we broke up because I was freaking out on him. I was just like, I don't know how you can just say that you were with your grandpa when you were like obviously not. Like I could see your location and it wasn't your grandpa's house. And he was like, "You're such a crazy bee. Like I know, like I was with my grandpa. I swear I was." And I was like, "Well, I don't believe you because you said you were going to be home at this time and you weren't. You were like, hours later. I don't know what you want me to like why you want me to believe you after everything that you've done and everything that I found out." And he was like, "You know what? I'm not doing this anymore. You're crazy. Like, I'm done. You need to get all your shit." And I was like, "Okay." So, whatever. And I was like hyperventilating, bawling at this point. Like, I was like, "No, you can't leave me. Like, I'm sorry. I won't be crazy, but you're the reason that I'm like this. It's your fault that I'm so crazy because of all the things that you've done. And I just, it's hard for me to trust you." And he's like, "Well, if you can't trust me, there's no reason to be in a relationship with me because I can't do this. I can't have you breathing down my neck 24/7. You just need to trust me." Now, how do I trust you? How am I supposed to trust you? Literally. And he was like,
Yeah,
"I don't know, but if you can't, then we're done. I'm done. You need to get your stuff and you need to get out." And I was like, "Okay." Hyperventilating, like trapped him in the closet, like bawling, trying to keep him in this house. And he eventually pushed me out of the way, and I fell to the floor because I was hyperventilating so bad, and I just laid on the floor and cried 4 hours as he proceeded to storm out of the house and slam the door and didn't come back until I was gone.
oh my
How long were you?
God.
I was there probably bawling and crying and trying to get some stuff together for, like, a good 5 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it sucked really, really bad. I
So
thought I would never be okay again, but here I am.
yeah. So during this whole thing, you were thinking that you were crazy, and obviously you weren't because what you found out was true. Did you ever
Right.
have a like a realization moment where you're like, "Wow, I'm actually not crazy. My intuition actually is right, and I need to trust myself a little bit more."
Oh, yeah, for sure. It did take some time. Like, it took a few months for me to, like, come to that realization and that I wasn't, but he was just, like, so narcissistic about everything that he had it, like, beaten into my head that I was crazy,
Yeah.
almost. So I had to, like, unlearn that almost and, like,
Yeah,
teach
get like
myself
your
like, I don't it was
self-esteem
so
back.
hard. Probably one of the hardest things I've ever been through and the most traumatic. It was horrible.
Yeah, I can imagine like dating somebody and like him like going like seeing all of these different people and like him telling me that like it's not happening and like you just need to get over it or whatever. And like knowing myself, like I would still think about it. Like I would go crazy as well. Like I would probably have to like break it off right away because it would have probably much all what I would think about the entire relationship.
I did, and that's why I think I mean, I probably did come off as crazy because I couldn't stop thinking about it. It, like, consumed my life almost, like, the whole
Oh,
time I'd
for
be at work
sure.
or not with him, the whole I would just be thinking about, "Oh my gosh, who is he with? What's he doing?" Because I can't be on my phone 24/7 at work either and keep track of everything he's doing.
Right.
So and there's always those stupid texting apps and, like, the dating sites, of course, that you can, like, just go on your browser and, like, clear the IP address and whatever, like,
Yeah, what's like
there's
really
just
crazy now is that like the new update on my iPhones now or whatever, like you can like hide the apps on your
yeah.
phone.
Yeah.
Well, I think they even used to have apps, like, that, like, looked like like a fake app kind of.
Yeah, I think I remember those.
So, yeah, like, it would, like, look like it was, like, a photo album or, like, a camera or, like a camera or, like, a calculator even, and I I feel like I did go through his phone, like, a couple other times, and I did go into those apps, but they always had a password.
Of course they did.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's great, great fun.
So you left the place. You
Yeah.
ended the relationship. What happened next? Did you keep in touch with him at all? Did you try to mend it at all, or did it just break away from there for good?
No, it honestly just broke away, like, I never talked to him again. Well, just kidding. I hadn't talked to him for, like, years, and like I said, he's married to that girl I went to school with, and probably, like, I don't know, let's see, maybe, like, 5 years ago, 6-ish, I was just, like, at home, and I get a friend request on Snapchat because my Snapchat's been the same for forever, and I don't know how he remembered it, but he added me one night and was, like, texting like, snapping me through the messaging snaps, not, like, pictures,
Yeah.
and so I was just, like, really I was confused. I was like, "That's so weird, like, I wonder if he's still with this girl or if he's not with this girl because he has me blocked on everything too, so I can't see anything, but then I woke up the next morning after talking to him, and it wasn't, like, anything serious or it was just kind of, like, a stupid conversation. I can't even remember honestly what it all was about. Then the next morning, I wake up to messages from his wife of screenshots of our Snapchats and was like, "Really? You're trying to talk to him again? Like, stay out of his life. He's married to me. We have children together, so you need to back off." And I was just like, Okay." Like, he messaged me first. I
Yeah,
didn't
he like was contacting you.
Yeah, so and I like I said, I couldn't see if they were still together or not because 'cause I'm blocked, so
And
and her
why
Facebook
does
is
she
very
think
private.
that you would even want to talk to him again
I
after what
could
he
not
did
tell
to you?
you. I think she's pretty insecure about him as well, just because if he's anything like he was when I was with him, I wouldn't be surprised if he's similar to now. Like, the
Yeah.
fact that he could go behind her back at night when she was probably sleeping right next to him, but messaging me, like, I don't know, kind of says a lot.
It
Right.
does.
So, I
Because
don't
it
know.
sounds like to me that like she was like questioning like what he was doing, like why was he messaging his
Yeah,
ex-girlfriend, you know?
yeah, most
Because
definitely.
he's probably was not the only one contacting you. He was probably contacting all of the other girls he probably
Oh,
had.
I'm sure he was. I really would not be surprised. Ugh, my goodness gracious, I was such a dumb little girl.
We all
No,
are.
you were just going through life and you were trusting him. I mean, that's what you have to do is you have to trust people, and that's
You
the
you
risk
have to
we all
like
take.
trust people in a relationship. You just that's all what it lies on.
Yeah, and he made it very, very hard. Ugh,
Yeah.
gosh dang it.
Well, is there anything else to the story that you would like to add, or is that it?
No, that's pretty much it. Just yeah, that's the basically the whole entire story.
Crazy. I would be so furious if a boy did that to me. I don't know what I would do. Like I would come completely unglued and it would be more than just crying.
I
Yeah.
I did leave out one part. I just didn't know if I could really talk about it because it's not abusive, but it's kind of abusive.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if we. I mean, if you have to delete this part, that's totally fine too. I did slap him that night, really, really hard.
No, let's talk about it.
Yeah, well, when I found out everything, and especially after the first girl and what she said, because I didn't talk to the other girl till the next day, but like I freaked out and I was like screaming at him, and I smacked him so hard. My handprint was on his face, literally.
Well, I mean, I guess he deserved it in a way, right?
I felt like he more than deserved it, but I'm still not very proud of the fact that I hit somebody. But
Well, I would have probably left. I would have probably done more than slap him if I were you.
yeah, I should have honestly. But
I would have probably broke every photo that I had on the wall of him or whatever.
yeah, and those photos were shoved in the corner in our guest bedroom.
See,
You
I don't
think you
understand.
think that he would, did you have a bedroom or like a bed in your guest bedroom? I'm assuming you did.
Yeah,
So why would he not use the guest bedroom for whatever he's doing and
I,
just leave the pictures up in wherever you have your own pictures in your room and just close the door? It's as simple as
Exactly.
that.
It seems like more hard work to do all that. And
you know, straight boys. I tell you what.
I guess that's where we could end it, is straight boys.
Yeah, literally.
Great.
Straight boys. That's yep. That's
that's
all I
your
can say about
story.
it.
That was funny. Well, it was great having you on, Dallas. As always, another crazy story to add to our list. For our listeners, as always, make sure you are saving and subscribing. We are streaming on Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. And make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We are Romance Unraveled. Until next time.